Now that I have my document set up, I can begin designing. You can use any tools that you'd like to design your shapes that you'll be cut out for your mobile. It's probably easier to use shapes that are going to be completely completed shapes, but you can also use the freehand tools to draw your own shapes. So I'm going to start with just drawing an oval or a circle. And then if you remember, we talked about how you can change this by selecting nodes and moving those around. So if you do draw a shape and you want to change the shape of that shape, go ahead and select it, go up to path and click on object to path. Then use your node selection tool and you can click on a node to move that around. And if you want to add a node, you can click on the shape and click add node, and it will give you another node that you can move around. Once you've got your nodes sort of where you would like them, you have some other features you can play with up here in the menu bar or the toolbar. We can auto smooth those nodes out. So if you click on a node and click any of these options, it will give you some ways to change it. So I'm going to move mine around just a little bit like that. So now I want to add text, and my theme is going to be places that I like to go to in the summer. So I'm going to type some text in here. And one of the places I like to go to is Bozeman, Montana. So the abbreviation for Bozeman is BZMN. You'll see that like on some stickers and stuff that you can buy when you're up there. And then I'm just going to move that around, and then I can change the font to whatever type of font I want to by choosing text and font options. And let's pick one. Let's try that and see how that looks. Okay, so I'm going to apply that font to my design. I also like to go to Bozeman because they have some really cool mountains. So I'm going to draw a couple of triangles that I'll turn into mountains. And I'll resize those so they'll fit on my shape, and maybe I'll squeeze them in here. And I might have to change the way this works, but anyways, that looks like a cool piece. The last thing I need to add is a hole where my wire will be able to run through. And I think that's ready to go. So I'd repeat this process, making up my designs how I'd like them to look, and I would make sure they all fit in this 8x8 square. And the next thing I would do, if I had 5 or 6 designs, however many I was going to create, I would need to set this up so it's ready to be laser cut. So one thing we won't have in this project is fill. So we're going to select anything that's been filled and turn the fill off. So what we can do is actually select everything in our design and go up to no fill. And my Bozeman text disappeared because it was only filled and had no stroke setting. So I'm going to change the stroke setting. I'm going to make everything blue for starters. So what this is going to do is tell the laser to engrave all of this, but it's not going to cut anything out. The two things I would need to cut out are the outline and the circle. So I'm going to select those two shapes and hold shift and turn those into red stroke colors. So now the laser would cut out the circle and cut out the shape, and then it would engrave BZMN and then these two mountains. Once it's ready to go after that, we will move on to setting it up for the laser cutter.